Zoom meeting. And wait, we're being recorded. I'll say welcome again so that it gets on the record that I welcomed you all. Boy, it looks like we have a whole bunch of you on here today. This is great. Welcome to 2025, 3 days before the next inauguration. Lots going on with the League of Women Voters. Lots going on in our own legislature here in Colorado. And I think lots going on at the local leagues. And so we want to hear from you today. And why don't we just kick off? There are a lot of people. Do you think we have time, Beth, to have everybody just go around and introduce themselves, or what do you think?
I think we should, but if we could ask people to please keep it kind of short. Let's stick to names and local leagues if you have one. Do you want to lead, or do you want me to, Irene?
I'm going to lead. I'm Irene Tynes. I'm with the League of Women Voters of Colorado at the state level, and I am the president of the board at this moment. And I also am a member of the Denver League.
Okay.
Why don't you ask the next person, Irene, just so that
okay, I'll get Beth to do it because she can see them all better. Yeah, next person. That's fine. Beth.
Okay.
Beth, you're my next person.
Great. I'm Beth Hendricks. I'm the executive director of the League of Women Voters. I'm really glad to see you all here. Let's go to Karen.
My name's Karen Sheik. I belong to the Montezuma County Local League, but I'm also on the board. I'm local league support, and I'm the one that sends out the updates. If you have information about your league you'd like to share, I'll put my email address in the chat and let me know. And Tony, you're next.
Tony Erickson, member of Women Voters, Gunnison Valley.
Tony Larson, member of the Denver League and working with the League of Women Voters of Colorado.
Let's do some staff. Jane.
Jane Dunk, Director of Operations.
Katina.
I am Katina Frierson. I am the Director of Development and Communications, also at the State League.
I don't think Andrea is here. Andrea Wilkins is our legislative liaison. The four of us represent your state staff. Kathy Wilson.
As you can see, Kathy Wilson, I'm with the Larimer League.
Great. Peggy Nerlin. You're still muted, Peggy. Nope. We'll come back to you, Peggy. Ann Sutton.
Hi, I'm Ann Sutton with the Adams County League.
Excellent. And if you're on the LAC, why don't you say that too? Kathy Wilson is.
I'm on the LAC.
Excellent. Great. Kathy Long.
Hi, I'm Kathy Long in Estes Park and happy to be here today.
Joanne.
I'm Joanne Houghton-Alico with the Chaffee County League.
Excellent. Peggy's unmuted. Yay.
Okay. Peggy Nerlin, Uncompahgre Valley on the western slope of Colorado. I'm the treasurer on our board.
Evie Hudak.
Hi everyone, Evie Hudak, Jeffco League.
Linda Burrows.
Linda Burrows, Larimer County League.
Christina.
Christina Manthe, Jeffco President, LAC.
Linda Hutchinson.
Linda Hutchinson, Co-Director of Action and Advocacy, and Larimer is my local league.
Tara.
Hi, Tara Keene. I'm the interim president in La Plata County, which is Durango area.
Barb Dungy.
Hi, Barbara Dungy, Arapahoe Douglas, and really happy to see all of you.
Janice.
Janice Colis from the Gunnison Valley.
Mariana.
I'm Mariana Dunn, Boulder County League.
Jill.
Jill Smith from the Arapahoe Douglas counties.
Leslie. Oh, she's driving. I'll come back to you. Sonia.
I'm Sonia with the Larimer League, and I'm mostly involved with the Observer Project right now, news access literacy stuff.
Barb.
Barb Winery, League of Women Voters State Board, Voter Service, Co-Director from Greeley-Weld County, and I also chair the LWVCO Education Task Force.
Which we'll be talking about a little bit. Maggie and Maud, you're a double.
Maud Nerol, Co-Director Action and Advocacy with Linda on the State Board and on the Legislative Action Committee, meeting facilitator for our local management team here with
Maggie Beveridge from the Arapahoe Douglas County.
who is our key
League.
contact.
Excellent. Yeah.
And secretary and my partner in crime.
Okay. The Ebersberger sisters.
Kathy and Sue Ebersberger. Sue's here. We're both with Arapahoe Douglas, and I'm on the we're both on the LAC, and I'm the chair of the Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Task Force. And we're doing a lot with immigration right now, so hope everybody can make our meetings on Tuesdays at 5:30.
Thanks, Kathy. Apologies for adding a long E on your name. Tony Adams.
Tony Adams.
Oh, you already said yourself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's two Tonys, which is very unusual to me.
Let's see, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry Wilson. I'm on LAC and on the board of the Larimer League.
Great. Yvonne.
Yvonne Selfinger, I'm on the board of the Estes Park League. Thank you.
Great. Leslie is ready. Okay, that was super garbled, but that's Leslie Dodson. Yeah, your sound wasn't quite coming through, Leslie. She's very active on our Reproductive Freedoms Task Force. Okay. Susan Maynard.
Hi, sorry about the profile photo. That's my husband's photo. I'm having camera-free Friday, but I am not a member yet, just here to learn more about what the league does. I am a Jeffco resident, Jeffco voter.
Excellent. Welcome. And I believe Jan Mormon is our last but not least.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jan Mormon. I am in Mesa County, and I'm part of the transition team as we work to become a co-league.
Which we will be discussing in more detail in just a bit. Okay, did I miss anyone? Okay, back to Irene.
I say back to Irene. Back to Beth.
Okay. Okay, you want me to start talking?
Yep.
Keep talking?
Keep talking.
Okay. As some of you know, we've had 2 meetings, statewide membership meetings since the election.
Yeah.
And we have brainstormed a lot of ideas as to how we can respond to any potential future threats to our democracy. And I would like you to know that LWVUS is slowly rolling out messaging. They have identified priorities for the first 100 days in 3 tiers, gold, silver, and bronze. They will be publishing these publicly very soon. To be truthful, I don't know what the holdup is, but I'm sure they have their reasons. So I will be in absolute touch about that. Like us, well, one of the first decisions we made in these, or agreements we made in these statewide membership meetings, is that we should continue to focus on making democracy work while not ignoring or losing sight of the other issues we care about, including climate change, immigration, healthcare, reproductive freedoms, all of them. So we decided that we need to up our civics programming. So we have created the Civics Education Task Force that had its inaugural meeting a week and a half ago. The next meeting is on the 12th of February. It's on the statewide calendar. Please register if you're able. At that initial meeting, we talked about both K through 12, P through 12 education and how to improve civics education there, as well as adult education. I don't know about you all, but it's been about 40 years since I took a civics class. So, and I think that's, you know, pretty typical of most American adults. So what can we do there? So we are looking at, you know, creating some simple trivia games, and we are getting in touch with Geeks Who Drink. Is anyone familiar with them? It's a small Colorado-based company that organizes trivia games to be held in bars and restaurants. So we're going to try to work with them to insert a round or two of civics education into their trivia games. We've got some other ideas too. So, and all of these things we intend to not keep at the state level, but to roll out as much as possible to our local chapters so that you all can implement them if you so choose. We heard a lot of concern about education, public education in our state. In response, Barb Winery has stepped up to be chair of this, which went on, of this task force. It went on a little bit of a hiatus just for a few months, but now we're back. Barb, is there anything you wanted to say about Education Task Force without meaning to put you on the spot?
Oh, sure. No, I was hoping maybe I have a chance. The Education Task Force meets the second Tuesday at 5:30, and we're just getting up and running. And once again, if you're interested, you can sign up on the State League calendar. Once we get rolling and people, I know who the regular members are, I can provide a link to our meeting. I'll just say right now, we're looking at we're setting our priorities. We did some brainstorming the first meeting this January, have a long list of things, but we have to narrow it down on what we want to work on. But we're trying to educate ourselves about what's happening. We work with the education team on LAC, so coordinate with them and what their priorities are and learn more about what they're doing, but also bring forth issues from the local level. I've invited leagues to have at least a representative present to help us better understand what's happening in your local school district and if there's something we need to work on and get a hold of. I think there's a lot of things. But having someone there to help represent your community would really be helpful, even if they can't come on a regular basis. But the regular people will get working on some projects of interest and priorities. We're working with several different coalitions and networking with other organizations. We want to get connected. We want to be a force. We want to, yes, study, know what we're talking about, align it with league positions, but we also want to take action. and get involved with getting your leagues, new members, and your communities involved with things to help protect education and push back on things that we don't want. That's all I have. You're invited, I think February 11th at 5:30 is our next meeting.
Thanks, Barb.
You're welcome.
Maud or Maggie, did you have a hand up?
We have an observer watching the Douglas County School Board. Barb,
Good.
would you
Excellent.
like those observer reports?
Hey, that would be helpful. That might be something that we can do because I know the Greeley World has a consistent observer, so maybe they can turn in our reports to us so we can look at them if they can't be there.
Do you want to put something in the weekly email asking for observer reports on school boards?
Okay, I don't know if I can get it in by today, but I will.
No, but next week.
No, I think that's a great idea. I mean, I think one of the biggest things are that we have to communicate about what the issues are and help one another. And several of the coalitions and networks I've been involved with over the holidays, I've met with them. Everybody kind of wants to hold hands and join hands, but I can't. I have to get that information to you. So let us know how we can help and support. I think that's an excellent idea.
Kathy and/or Sue.
Yeah, hi. I just want to mention that I came from Florida, as everybody knows, but one of the chapters in Florida prepared a crossword puzzle, a section of crossword puzzles that went along with the textbooks for schools. And that might be an interesting idea for you guys to do too.
Huh. Thanks, Kathy. Or Sue. I can't actually see who's talking. Great. Speaking of Kathy, she mentioned that she is chairing our JEDI task force. JEDI is Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. So that's another way that leagues can get information about that topic, which is a very broad topic. We heard a lot of concern and requests for more information on DEI and JEDI. So Kathy is fulfilling that. She's deeply involved in immigration, which is a big deal coming up. We don't know what's going to happen in Aurora on the 21st of this month. So we're waiting, and Kathy's on it. Kathy, what date is your next meeting? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, we have a meeting on the 21st. It's going to be on misinformation and disinformation about immigration and how that's driving public policy. And then we have a meeting on the 28th, and that's going to be on the DACA program and the challenges our dreamers are facing.
Excellent. Timely. We are always looking to be a clearinghouse of information for Colorado leagues. And we are stepping up efforts there, particularly around your programming. If you have a shareable program, please share it with us, and we will make sure other leagues can see it and get at it and roll it out in their local league. And LWVCO will be continually looking at this list of available programs and working to fill in gaps. I already mentioned that we'll be looking to roll out civics education programs. I know that Arapahoe Douglas has already shared a civics education program with us, Constitution Day. And so did Gunnison. So we will be posting those under the members tab as soon as possible. We're not quite there yet. There are some programs under toolkits and programs under the members tab, but you can depend on that expanding drastically before the end of the fiscal year. We are also working on creating programs in a box. Kathy, do you want to ask it now, or should I? Go ahead.
Finish what you're saying and then call on me.
Okay. We're also working on programs in a box, meaning easily implementable programs that hopefully contain everything you need to implement this program. Already mentioned civics ed. I think you all know that the National League formalized a partnership with Girl Scouts. I and Lisa Haddix from the Denver League met with the ED of the Girl Scouts of Colorado, and we have come up with 4 different programs that local leagues can implement. And there is a Girl Scout troop in every zip code in Colorado, which is pretty amazing. So there's opportunities for each and every league. Kathy.
Okay, so just now that you brought that up, just so people know, Larimer County is going to have Voter Girl, the Voter Girl program in, I think it's April. So more on that. That's what the Girl Scouts. The reason why I raised my hand is Joanne said something about a concern about book banning in her local leagues, and I'm on the LAC along with several people here, and along with Kathy Marr and Linda Hutchinson, we are on a stakeholder meeting with a bill that's upcoming. In fact, it may be introduced today, we'll see, from Lisa Cutter, Senator Cutter, and I'm drawing an absolute blank on her co-sponsor, but it's on anti-book banning in public schools. So this, stay tuned, because we will have action alerts connected with this. Last year, we got through, Senator Cutter got through a book banning and anti-book banning in public libraries in Colorado. So this is an ancillary for this, and we cross our fingers that this part will pass this year, because this part did not pass last year.
Okay. Thanks, Kathy. Good info. Thanks, Maud, for getting back with Susan Maynard. Okay, what is next? Other programs in a box that we're working on. Both Observer Corps and Eyewitness. The difference between those 2 programs is media connection, where a partner media source publishes Observer Corps reports. We're also looking to put together a stronger election observation program, showing how local leagues can get involved to observe elections and make sure our elections go smoothly, as well as reporting any problems or issues. So we're looking for a way to ease the complications of our ballot issues process. So that leagues, if they choose, can spend some time around election time actually in polling places and observing elections. We're also working on one for jail-based voting. I hope you all know that last session, the Colorado legislature passed a bill mandating that each jail in Colorado provide at least 1 day of voting for all eligible inmates. And most inmates in jails are eligible. Okay, any questions there?
Beth, not so much a question as a commentary. Special district elections are May 6th. These are a free-for-all, run by whoever wants to run them in their own fashion. We need to be on top of this.
Great, thanks. That's great, Christina. Let's get you and Katina together to create some kind of informational graphic or packet so that we can really start advertising those
Good
so
idea.
that people know that they're
Good idea.
happening.
Yay.
Okay.
And if you could, with the election task force, because that's been a topic of conversation as well.
Sure. Yeah, I know you have a subcommittee that really works on that, Karen. Okay. The legislative session is in full swing. And the very first bill introduced in the Senate was, oh, and you know what? Oh, we did talk about the ERA. We did. Is everyone aware that President Biden is saying that the 28th Amendment is a done deal? It was first introduced 101 years ago.
Finally.
Yes. Okay. The Voting Rights Act, Colorado Voting Rights Act was Senate Bill 25-001, the very first bill introduced into the Colorado Senate. The State League was involved on the steering committee of this collaboration to get this bill written and introduced and passed. We're now on step 2. It's been introduced, and the fact that it was not the first bill indicates some pretty strong support. There will be a lot of opportunities for local advocacy from our membership. We would love for anyone to call their legislators, talk to their friends and neighbors about the importance of this bill. Hey, Maud, can I ask you a favor? Can you put the text of the bill into the chat for me? You're really good at that. Thank you. There are 4 main parts to the bill. One is expanding multilingual ballots. One, where the league was most heavily involved, is in strengthening data collection. After the redistricting process in Colorado, we heard from our 2 independent redistricting commissions that the process went well, but it could have gone better if they had had historical demographic data by district. Currently, I believe that county clerks refresh that information on demographics historically, as opposed to saving it and updating it. Yeah, we're asking them to save this information, which will require some staff time. So there will be a fiscal note on this bill. We don't know what it is yet. That will be our biggest obstacle, in my opinion. It also strengthens voting protections for voters with disabilities, LGBTQIA voters, and Native American voters. So it's right in the league's wheelhouse. So I hope you'll all get involved in getting this over the finish line. We will be sending out graphics that are social media and newsletter ready. You can expect those within a week. Any questions? Okay. Our 2025 legislative conference is a week from Saturday. I hope you have registered. If you haven't, I encourage you to. We will be publishing the agenda today, but I will give you all a preview. Okay. So we have Representative Marshall and Senator Doherty talking about vacancy committee reform. I hope you all know that this year about 33% of our legislators were appointed through a vacancy committee, which is pretty undemocratic. So we are supporting the idea of vacancy committee reform, and we understand that these two legislators will be putting forward different proposals. So let's see what the difference is. LWVCO is working in collaboration with a bunch of groups, but one of them is the Independence Institute. I'm sure many of you are familiar with John Caldera. He has a regular article in Colorado Politics magazine, as well as a show on PBS on Friday evenings. He can be described as bombastic. But we are working, the Independence Institute is a highly conservative libertarian think tank located here in Denver. It used to be run by Tom Tancredo. And this is proof that we are nonpartisan, that we are able to work with the Independence Institute to protect Colorado's open meeting laws. You might remember that last session, the Senate or the legislature passed SB 24-157, exempting themselves, the General Assembly, from Colorado's open meetings laws. We rallied against it, we testified against it, but shockingly, they wrote it and they passed it. We believe that this is an infringement on our democracy. There was also a failed bill to reform Colorado Open Records Act or CORA laws to protect against vexatious requesters of CORA. You might have heard that our county clerks after or just before the 2022 election were flooded with CORA requests. And it was believed that it was a nefarious effort to disallow our county clerks to have time to effectively run their elections. So, and that's bad. We don't want that. But we also don't want it to be more difficult or more expensive for Colorado residents to get information from our government that they're not making available. And that could happen with CORA reform. So we are working, this coalition is calling itself Team Transparency. And it's us, the Independence Institute, Common Cause, ACLU, the Colorado Broadcasters Association, Colorado Press Association. So a lot of groups are getting together to work on this. So we won't be able, we're looking at a citizen initiative to constitutionally codify sunshine in Colorado government. Therefore, it won't get on the ballot until at least 2026. So you'll be hearing a lot about this for the next couple of years. We already talked about the Colorado Voting Rights Act. Governor Polis will be talking about his efforts in collaboration with other governors called Governors Saving Democracy. Looking to also kind of beat back any anti-democratic initiatives that come through the federal government. Then we have our new chief counsel at LWVUS, Marcia Johnson, giving us more information about what LWVUS is doing and planning to do. Marcia took Selena Stewart's position when Selena was promoted to CEO. So it'll be great to meet her and learn a little bit more about what LWVUS is doing. Then we have an immigration panel that I'm still working on. We just had someone cancel. So, CIRC, or Colorado Immigrant Rights Coalition, will definitely be there talking about Know Your Rights for Latino immigrants particularly. They will be presenting this in kind of a train the trainer format so that we can provide individual advocacy if we so choose for our new neighbors. we're trying to get Dr. Carla Loria is the superintendent of Adams 14 School District, which has a high percentage of immigrant students. So I'm working on getting her in, as well as getting someone from the ACLU in to talk about their potential lawsuits and their other actions and how we might assist. And then our own action and advocacy team will present on LWVCO's priorities in the 2025 legislative session, which is an annual standard, and we look forward to it. Any questions? This is a ticketed event. We do charge for this event. However, if anyone has any issues paying, if it's difficult in any way, please have them contact us. We are so happy to waive those fees. And please pass that on to any members you talk to. Okay. We will be asking for statewide consensus on a few issues. We don't do this often, I think you know. We try to, while speaking with one voice, allow each local chapter as much autonomy as possible because we're a grassroots organization. It starts from the bottom and moves up as opposed to the other way around. So, however, we've been having some issues, and we kind of think that it would be good to come to consensus on a couple of topics that affect us all. One is the empty chair policy around candidate forums. You've likely already heard from Karen Sheik about this. We're gathering various policies from local leagues about how they handle empty chair. Meaning when one or more candidates doesn't show up for a forum, and that there's only one candidate available for the forum. If it's for a federal office, it's illegal for us to continue to hold the program. At the state and local levels, we have been leaving it up to local leagues to decide. However, I think we all know that this is becoming more and more of a problem, whether it is intentional or not. So it seems that this is a place where we need to speak with one voice. So we will be calling meetings to come together and talk about how, what we all agree on. What's a reasonable process for this? When to cancel, when to continue. Another issue is around social media, especially commentary. When we get nasty comments, what do we do? And we think that we should all kind of be doing the same thing, as opposed to one league doing one thing and one league doing another. So we'd like to come to consensus on those decisions, which we hope will be pretty simple to make. But keep your eye out for those meetings. Kathy.
I was just trying to put my thumbs up. I'm excited about those meetings. Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Lost my agenda. Okay. One last thing before we open it up. I hope you all know that as of January 1st, 15-year-olds can now pre-register to vote. The age dropped from 16 to 15. Okay, and the Secretary of State did this very purposefully to catch the kids who get a driver's permit but never go on to get a driver's license. I'm sure you know that most of our automatic voter registration comes through the DMV. And the last year's system got kids as they were getting their license. So we've been missing out on a section of teenagers who get their permits but never go on to get their license. And I can tell you, my boys were in there. They were two of the kids that did that, and it's a substantial number. So that's really exciting news. And so all you voter service, voter registration folks, we can start hitting the younger ones. That sounded a little creepy. Don't take it that way. And okay, now let's open it up. And if anybody has any questions, I see Karen raising her hand.
Yeah, my only question about this is that that's substantially far window before these kids can participate in the election process. Is there going to be anything in place to remind them that they actually are registered so that when they are ready to vote, when they are eligible to vote at 18, that
they'll just get a ballot?
Okay.
It means that a ballot is automatically mailed to them at the next election after they turn 18. Linda. Are you trying to get off mute, Linda? Or was that an accidental hand raise? Okay, okay.
Would that provide an opportunity to get out more education about civics in our government and voting? Maybe
absolutely.
If they got something from the government saying you've registered to vote, here's what that means.
Absolutely. That's an interesting idea. I wonder how we could access those kids. But great, thanks. We'll keep that up. Keep that in mind. Okay, Barb.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea too. One of the things I was going to ask when we were jostling around with allowing 17-year-olds to get involved early on before they actually voted, does this enable them maybe to participate in caucuses and some of those other things? I mean, I'd like to know what they're eligible to do other than just I've registered and I sit around for 3 years waiting to vote. I think that's if we can activate some communications and let them know what they are eligible to do, that might be help to keep them active.
Great. Great. Let's talk about that. Let's do some brainstorming. And Evie, you're absolutely right about John Caldera. As Maggie and/or Maud mentioned, he wrote one of his articles about us, and he specifically referred to us as odd bedfellows, which is pretty true. Thanks, Maud, for putting that link in. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I wonder if we could get a poster with a QR code in all the DMVs. Let's look at that. Anybody else? Does anybody want to talk about anything their leagues are doing that's fun and exciting?
Beth?
Sorry, Karen, did I interrupt you?
No, it's Kathy Wilson. I have a question / suggestion. Doesn't the league have a subscription to Van? And wouldn't the newly registered, teenagers be on Van then? Because you might be able to narrow down contact information.
Yeah.
I don't
Thanks,
know that
Kathy.
it has,
I'm thinking, yeah.
I don't know that it has pre-registered voters on it.
That's what I'm wondering.
I think it just has eligible voters or people who have registered to vote. They may be
Yeah, I didn't know
or eligible, but
yeah, I didn't know how
they
big a
have to-
population they have in the database.
yeah, I don't think they're. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost sure it isn't.
Thanks, Jane. Thanks, Barb. Thanks, Kathy. Karen, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I can't find the raising my hand thing. I don't know what would be the possibility of having the league produce some kind of a really generic poster. QR code's a great idea that simply indicates that if people have questions about the Colorado election system or voting or any of those kinds of things, that you can contact the league and have, I don't know whether motor vehicle would allow those to be posted, at their places of business, but that might be something that's colorful, that would be eye-catching, that might be great for not just young people who are, registering through their new license, but anybody else, including adults who go in to renew their license.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We'll look into that. I wonder if they would just put up the Secretary of State's site, but we can sure ask.
Well, I'm thinking in terms of actually having a poster with the league name on it that raises our profile as being a source of information. Yes, I think putting the link to the Secretary of State site is fine. I don't think we want to be the clearinghouse for that, but by putting the league's logo on there and our colors, that might be more eye-catching and raises the league's visibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. We'll look into that for sure. Christina.
Yeah, is everybody aware that the high schools are each supposed to have a registrant at the high school level, someone responsible for seeing that students get voted? I mean, we're trying to work with the Jefferson County ones right now, the ones that have so far done it, but it's been quite interesting doing that. We had 8 of the 26 high schools in Jeffco that had appointed someone to be the registrant. And so we're trying to get now in there and say, hey, we'll help you with the paperwork, we'll help you with this, whatever you need to get this program going.
Awesome, Christina.
We also know all the teachers are swamped, so
Yeah,
any
so
help.
is it a teacher or what kind of person is?
It's probably a teacher in
Or a
most
teacher's
cases.
aide or anything like that, or?
It depends on the school.
Cool.
Depends on the school, who the school appoints to be the
How would you go about finding that out, that information, just instead of
county
contact?
clerk. Is where we're
Thank
getting
you.
our information from. Amanda Gonzalez is working has someone dedicated to working with this.
Good, thank you.
I think you'll find you're going to have more success if it's a teacher, a civics teacher attached to it, because then that way that can be part of their curriculum. At least that's the way his works in the high school too.
Okay, anybody else? Joanne.
Yes, what is it that makes, why are the schools supposed to have someone involved with registration? Is this a state law, or where did this idea come from? I think it's great, but I just don't know anything about the background of it.
I think it is a law. I have no idea when it was passed.
I can find out for you, Don.
Oh, good.
But
Find out.
we thought it was actually mandatory. It's not quite as mandatory as we thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, the idea is to encourage registration and encourage involvement. So,
well, let us know what you find out. I also know Linda Thomas is really all over, registration and works with high schools. She might have some information on it too, from Larimer.
Check with
Jim LaCrone in Jeffco is the one that's dealing with this primarily. So
cool.
I'll get a hold of her.
Okay. Kathy Long
My
is
son-
asking. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't raise my hand for this. I was just going to say my son is a civics teacher, among other history, civics, in Maplewood District, a suburb of Denver. So, it seems like civics teachers would be a great person for this to be. He's mainly involved with middle school, but that's why I would just like to know a lot more about it.
Okay, Maud, thanks for answering Kathy, but I'm going to show you anyway.
Okay.
Here's our league website. Kathy Long from Estes was just asking where to find out about our task forces. So right here on our homepage, we've got them all there. I'll click the top one just to show that you do have access to who you need to talk to. I swear I will. It's here somewhere. There we go. Okay. So, does that help, Kathy?
Beth?
All right.
Yes.
So
I thought I had seen, a one with just a list and the contact info, but I don't know where to find it. So that's what I was generally asking about.
Okay. I don't know that we have a list, but it is certainly easily creatable.
Thank you. That way I could put it in our newsletter to members and.
Good idea.
Okay.
I put something together, it's probably been a year ago. It's not current now because we've added several additional new task forces, but I can pull that up and send that to you because I had included contact information and everything on that.
Thanks.
You'll update it, Karen, before you send it?
I can do that, yeah.
Great, thanks.
Thank you, Karen. Irene? Beth?
Huh?
Can I?
Oh, Irene? Yeah, of course.
Hey, I just looked up on the Secretary of State's website. High school deputy registrar. Every Colorado high school is required by law to designate a staff member to be trained in voter registration. Yes, it's true. Colorado election law states that every public high school principal needs to appoint a staff person to help citizens register to vote while on school grounds. It goes on, but yes, it is really a law.
I'd also like to bring up real quick, I hope you all know that we announced our 2025 Leaders of Democracy, who are Attorney General Phil Weiser and District Attorney Dan Rubenstein. I'm sorry, I can't remember which district he is, but it's the Mesa County District. They have been named Leaders of Democracy for their successful prosecution of a rogue elected official, and thereby upholding Colorado's election integrity and election security. We will be hosting a small, intimate gathering, including our 2 awardees, on February 12th at the Molly Brown House. This is a ticketed event because you're rubbing elbows with these important people, and because LWVCO has to keep the lights on. And there will be a couple other speakers too. Portia Prescott, who's the president of NAACP of the Rocky Mountain region, will be speaking on our partnership in the litigation against the U.S. Election Integrity Plan, which is currently under appeal. Chris Fresquez, the publisher of El Seminario dual language newspaper, will be speaking briefly on our partnership. And then we'll bring out the big guns with Dan and Phil. There will be a lovely meal involved. And like I said, lots of rubbing of elbows. So you can register on our site for any of you in the metro area or anyone willing to travel up here. Thank you. And the People's March, formerly known as the Women's March, is this Saturday. It'll be about 11 degrees, but we're doing it. So west steps of the Capitol at 11 a.m. It hasn't been quite as organized in advance as it has been in the past. So we haven't promoted it heavily. And partially because we don't want people to get frostbite. Maud or Maggie?
I think it's supposed to be a little warmer than 11 tomorrow. I think they've raised the temperature forecast, but it is supposed to snow tonight, some number of inches.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're right. It's up to 17 tomorrow. Woo! So if anyone wants to come out, put on your, long undies and parka and head on out. Maud and I will be there.
What time?
11 o'clock.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm speaking. Ooh.
Oh,
I know,
that is
fancy.
cool.
Okay, thanks, Jill. That's sweet of you. Anybody else? We've still got 3 minutes. Anybody got a joke? No? Okay, I do.
Okay.
Although Thalia already knows this one. What is green and invisible?
Oh, this one's terrible.
Money.
Shh. That's a good one, Bob. No, it's this cabbage.
Oh, stop it.
Green and invisible.
On that note.
On that note.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That's hilarious.
Thank you. Okay. I'm hearing that courageous New Year is the thing to say instead of Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you.
So
We needed
a
something.
courageous, yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, you're all garbled, Thalia. Sorry. Nope. Thalia's on the road, driving from Greeley back to Gunnison. Bless her heart.
Let me mention, since you mentioned Thalia's name, Jeff is traveling the state. Jeff and Thalia are traveling the state to do on the First Amendment. He was in La Plata County last Friday and in Montezuma County last Saturday. He gives a wonderful, really informative presentation. It's actually more of a conversation with lots of input and answering of questions and acceptance of comments. So check out. I believe that all local leagues have him scheduled. Either come in person or in Larimer's case, he'll be doing a Zoom. Beth, I don't know whether you all have set, you and Jeff have set a date yet as to when they're supposed to actually be. We don't want to do a Zoom meeting too soon, because Jeff and I agree with him, really prefers to be able to do this in person. It's much more effective. But if you weren't able, if you won't be able to attend your local league's presentation, there will be a Zoom so that you do have an opportunity to hear Jeff. And if you want to hear him again, the vote on this position will be March the 1st. So it's really important that members have a chance to.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
The voting will be the entire month of March, March 1st to March 31st.
Okay.
Oh, that's
okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard that. So if somebody can get me the accurate information on that, or Beth or Jane, I'll call you and so that I can get that sent out to local leagues so that they know how they're going to get to participate in this.
I believe there'll be something in the newsletter, but yes. And anyone who wants to access the study, it's on our website. You do need to sign in so you can access the members tab, and it's under studies and concurrences right there. Okay, Barb.
Yes, and I talking about studies. One of the things I don't know if everybody's tuned into it, but the National League is doing a study on the judicial system, and you need to go to their website. And now it'll be starting up, or it's kind of getting started through February through April. I don't know how many leagues have the bandwidth to get involved with it. I was going to ask Maud and maybe some of the advocacy people if there could be some collaboration between some of the smaller leagues to get involved. I think leagues have to vote individually on that position, but we need probably I guess a good group of people to be looking at all the materials. They were supposed to have a town hall in January, but I didn't hear anything about it. I've been watching all the league, the weekly newsletters, but I think we need to keep that on our radar. I think that's a critically important study because we don't have any positions, and there's a lot going on in that branch of government these days.
Just so you know, Linda Mahan of the Larimer League, they are looking at trying to develop some kind of resources that could be made available. How the judicial system, the federal judicial system, how it actually operates in the state of Colorado. And know that we have sent out, and there have been some responses from other local leagues to maybe collaborate on this, so that the information can be shared with other leagues. So thanks for mentioning that, Barb.
Barb, the town hall is now scheduled for February 4th, 5 o'clock, Metro or our Mountain Zone time, which makes it a little awkward for me because we have Jeff coming in at 6 p.m. that night. So I'm looking at seeing if the JUC will let me run the town hall at 5 o'clock on their system, and
Okay.
then re-roll immediately into Jeff.
Well, thank you. Well, we're trying to schedule all these things in between a lot of the other activities we have going on, but I think it's important that each league has someone touching base with it.
Cheryl Ott is my person of contact, or Karen Connor.
Okay.
I realized I did not have the bandwidth to mentor this particular one myself.
Okay. Thanks. Linda.
I'm okay. I was just repeating what Karen said. I think you can contact Linda Mahan or Kathy Marr. They're working on it for Larimer.
Great. Anybody else? Okay. Well, thank you all for your time and attention today. Really appreciate it. Real quick, because Pikes Peak Region is using our Zoom account tomorrow, because they need access to a larger capacity. I just want to put out there that that's available to every local league. We have 2 Zoom accounts with a capacity of 300, and we can be easily talked into bumping up that capacity if that's what y'all need. So if you need to borrow our Zoom account, just give us a call. We're happy to do that. Okay. Anything else, Irene?
That should do it.
Okay. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Hang in there and stay warm, and be in touch. Okay. Thanks all.
Thank you.